Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're heading way out there, far beyond the giant planets we know well, to a really distant, frozen edge of our solar system. Get ready, because we're going to explore a place that, well, it holds some genuinely surprising secrets about how our solar system actually began.
Exactly. And our mission,
Yeah.
for you listening, is basically to pull out the key insights about this really complex region, to understand why it's so significant and why it matters to us right back here on Earth.
Right. And the star of our deep dive today, it's the Kuiper Belt, a vast, pretty mysterious area of space just sort of waiting for us to figure it out. Now, my mental image, I guess, of the Kuiper Belt has always been this kind of flat, almost like a 2D disk of icy asteroids. But you mentioned its immensity. Is that picture really right, or is it more complicated?
Yeah, that's a common thought, definitely. But the reality, it's far more colossal and complex. The Kuiper Belt isn't just some thin disk. You should think of it more like a gigantic donut, a really thick, puffed-up donut shape surrounding the outer solar system.
Yeah.
And the size,
Yeah.
it's just immense. It stretches from Neptune's orbit, right, all the way out to about 50 astronomical units, 50 AU from the sun. And just to give you perspective, remember, 1 AU is the distance from us, from Earth to the sun. So 50 times that distance out. It's vast.
Wow. Yeah, it's genuinely hard to wrap your head around that kind of scale. So, okay, given it's so huge and incredibly cold out there, what kind of things do we actually find? What are the maybe unexpected characteristics of the objects we can see?
Oh, you find a huge variety. Really, everything from, small chunks of ice and rock, maybe a kilometer across,
Yeah.
right up to dwarf worlds, actual worlds, thousands of kilometers wide.
And yeah, of course, the most famous one is Pluto. Can't really talk about the Kuiper Belt without mentioning Pluto, even though it's, not officially a planet anymore. It's still a major player out there.
Right, absolutely. But the really profound thing about these Kuiper Belt objects, these KBOs,
Yeah.
they're seen as the ghosts or even fossils of the early solar system.
Ghosts, fossils. Okay, tell me more.
Well, think of them as perfectly preserved time capsules. They're essentially the leftover bits, the fragments from when the giant gas planets were forming. And because they're out there in the deep freeze, so incredibly cold and relatively undisturbed by the strong gravity of bigger planets, many of these KBOs have kept their original chemical makeup intact for, well, 4.6 billion years, since the beginning.
Okay, so that's the key takeaway then. It's not just a cold, distant junkyard. It's our best window, maybe our only pristine window into how things were right at the start. 4.6 billion years ago. It's like cosmic archaeology, peering back to when Earth itself was forming.
Precisely. That's why it's so crucial.
Now, Pluto gets all the attention, as we said, but are there other really interesting residents out there? Objects that maybe challenge how we think about dwarf planets?
Oh, definitely. There's some fascinating ones. For instance, there's Eris. Eris is actually more massive than Pluto. It caused quite a stir when it was found.
Oh, massive, right.
Then you have Haumea. Now, Haumea is really strange. It's shaped like a flattened egg, or maybe a football. And that's because it spins incredibly fast. So fast, it stretched itself out. And it even has 2 little moons orbiting it.
An egg-shaped world. Okay, that is weird.
It is. And then there's Makemake. Makemake stands out because it's quite reddish in color. Its surface is covered in frozen methane. And maybe other exotic ices, too. So, yeah, each one tells a slightly different story about the belt's history and diversity.
It still feels so incredibly remote, though, this desolate, frozen place. So how does something so far away, so cold, actually connect back to us, to Earth's story?
Well, that's a really vital connection. And it touches on a huge question. Where did Earth's water come from? The Kuiper Belt might hold a really important clue.
Water from out there.
Yes. The leading theory, or one of the main ones, is that comets delivered a significant chunk of Earth's water, especially during the early bombardment phase. And where do many, many comets come from?
The Kuiper Belt.
Exactly. They originate out there in the Kuiper Belt. These icy bodies get knocked around, some fall inwards, and, well, they could have been the water delivery service for early Earth.
That's actually incredible to think about. So these icy ghosts you mentioned, they might literally be responsible for our oceans, and maybe even helped create the conditions for life itself.
It's considered a very strong possibility, yes. And related to that, the Kuiper Belt is thought to be home to just billions, maybe even trillions of comets. Dormant comets, mostly ice and rock. Trillions, potentially. It's a huge reservoir. And the interesting part is how we sometimes see them. Every now and then, due to gravitational nudges, maybe from Neptune or passing stars, some of these icy bodies get bumped out of their stable orbits. They start falling towards the sun. And that's when they become the comets we see. those uninvited but spectacular guests lighting up our night sky sometimes.
Right. I see visitors traveling huge distances from that distant frontier, making a temporary appearance here. Quite a journey.
It really is. And it's also just crucial to remember we've barely scratched the surface out there. The Kuiper Belt is still vast and mostly unexplored, mostly mysterious. We've really only had one dedicated spacecraft mission, New Horizons, fly through a part of it.
Just one flyby, essentially.
Pretty much. So every single new object we managed to find out there, even the small ones, it reveals another little piece of the puzzle, another clue about the history, the formation, the evolution of our entire solar system. It really is a promised land for future discoveries. There could be strange new worlds hiding out there, things we can't even imagine yet, and potentially the answers to some of those really fundamental questions about where we came from, our own origins. It is genuinely wonderful, isn't it? Thinking about that distant frontier, just filled with these icy relics from the dawn of time, holding on to their secrets.
It really makes you think. Imagine future voyages, maybe robotic, maybe even human someday, going right to the edge of our solar system. Out there where these silent ice ghosts just keep watch, holding the story of the past, whispering clues about the universe's oldest secrets, just waiting for us to listen.